You're balancing very precariously on, oh, okay, laptop, on a bottle of Dior foundation. Oh, you were balanced nicely, but seems to have all gone wrong since I pressed record. Legit. Oh, we done it. Oh, we done it. Yeah, we've done it. Hi guys, I'm Ellen. If you're new here, welcome to or back to my channel. I make videos on slow fashion and London life, and today is all about money and budgeting when living in London. If you don't live in London, you might just be watching this to be nosy, or you might be watching this because you're interested in moving to London and you've heard a lot about the cost of living crisis and the rent crisis that's going on in London right now. So we actually moved. I'd say the rent crisis has gotten slightly worse since we moved literally a month ago, but even when we moved, it was a really tough market, and I talk a lot about that in a video. I'll link it here and I'll link it down below, where I talk all about our process of finding a flat in London during the rent crisis, or everything that's going on. I don't know if that's its official name, but everything that's going on in London right now in regards to rent. And when this was going on, I really kind of clicked in me that I really wanted to get on top of my finances. When I hit 30, one of my big goals for my 30s was to start saving a lot more than I've saved a little in my 20s, but I've spent a lot of it on travel and experiences and just having a really amazing time. And I want to take my 30s a bit more seriously financially. So that's what's pushed me to A, make this video, and B, create the savings budgeting plan and template that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to walk you through my budgeting and savings template, talking about around how much I spend on living in London in a month. I don't want it to get too personal, so I've put like a fake salary in there, and then some of the different numbers in there are fake as well, but I will tell you in comparison to what I do spend and in comparison to what I've kind of fudged for the video to kind of make it not too personal to my personal finances. Basically, I'll be quite clear on what's the differences there. Just where I just want to give like all my kind of salary information, all that stuff out too candidly on the internet. I am of the camp that we should talk very openly about how much we're earning and how much we're saving and in debt and that sort of thing. I think especially as women, that's something that we have been sort of shy about and hiding behind for a long time, and it's led to the kind of massive pay gap between men and women. I think it's part of it, and I think that we do have a bit of a duty almost to kind of be more candid and open about salaries. So with my friends and my family, I am very candid and open about that sort of thing. However, on the internet, to people that I don't know, I wanted to keep it a little bit stum. And also, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to basically talk you through my complete savings plan and budget tracker. So I'll end up down in one of these corners, and it'll be the screen will be covered with my monthly tracker. I am going to do a roundup video. So this is actually, August is going to be the first month that I'm officially using this tracker. I'm going to track all my spending. So I am going to do a roundup video and be really candid in that video about how much I'm spending. I have actually spent for the whole of August, but I think I know my spending enough that have got it down, but we'll see. And this template is going to be available for you to just I'll leave a link to it down below. It might have some bits and bobs in so that you can just download it yourselves. I'll leave it as a template. I'll try and figure out a way that it's uneditable so you can just download it for yourself, or save it as a new Google Drive for yourself if you do want to use it completely for free. If you are interested, I am running the London Marathon on the 2nd of October, so if you do download the template and you do want to kind of give something back to me for making you guys the template, then I would love if you could donate anything, even if it's 50p, to my London Marathon run, because I'm very passionate about raising the money and I haven't got very much of it yet. So the link, oh, plane's going overhead. The link to my marathon fundraiser will be down below, along with the link to download the template. So without further ado, let's get into the template. So I think I've just started screen recording, and this is my saving plan template. So this isn't the one that I actually personally use myself, it's a template I've made for you guys. And to start with, I have put in a salary of around 30k. into the template, as I did do a Google, and I think that is the average London salary. Let me have one more Google. Was it 32? But basically, average London salary 2022 is about 33k. So, and the average salary for the UK is 24, but for London, their most typical salary is about around 33.7k, so 34k, let's say, is a typical salary here in London. I put 30k into this, which equates to about 1,900 after tax. I don't think that takes into consideration any pension or any student loan outgoings, but obviously that varies so much between persons. So we've gone for about 1,900 for your kind of standard salary for someone earning around, let's say, between 30 and 33k. I have set it up so that you can put a secondary income into here as well, so it doesn't just have to be, you could use this for your whole household. So for example, I live with my boyfriend, and if I wanted to kind of budget for both of us, which I don't want to do just yet, then I could put in both our salaries and do the budgeting for both of us. And also if you've got any sort of surplus income, so from any side jobs you do, so for example, I have YouTube and I earn a salary from, well, I earn some income, nothing major, but I do earn some income from YouTube. And I put that into the side jobs as well. So I earn about 100 quid off YouTube every month, and I would say, for kind of reasons, my salary is quite close to the salary you see here. So that works out this tab works out your monthly income, and that is basically the first thing you're going to want to complete in this survey to begin your budgeting. Basically, I start with this so that I know the money I've got to spend for that whole month. I don't include any savings in this that I would be dipping into. My savings are all completely separate. This is purely to budget what I'm going to be spending every month. And with that being the average London salary, let's look at what a kind of an average fixed expense would be. So I have done most of this based on my own monthly spending. And then added a few more bits in that other people might have, because there are bits that I don't pay for in living in this like flat complex, and there are bits of like things that most people, I need to sneeze, do pay for that I think I should include, basically. So you can see up here in the monthly fixed expenses that it works out your total, and I have broken this down into household, entertainment, medical and personal, and other. Medical and personal was quite an important category for me, as when I did create this, I had the card that means I pay monthly for my prescriptions, a prescription prepayment card, that's what it's called. When I made this, I don't have that anymore, so it's not on here, but that's why I added medical and personal into it. It's quite an important part of my monthly payments. I live with arthritis along with a few other autoimmune conditions, so they obviously do factor into my monthly spending. So obviously the one you're probably most interested in is household. So I do pay £800 on my rent every month, and that's split between me and my partner. We live in a quite big 2-bedroom flat, and we pay £1,600 a month for it. We are based in southwest London, which is in the borough of Wandsworth, which will be relevant when we get down to some of these. I've added a landline phone section in this. We don't pay for a landline phone, although I know some people may, so I wanted to have that in there, but I've left that blank because I would say most people don't pay for a landline phone. I don't know how many people I know use a landline phone. I don't even call my mum on a landline phone anymore. My personal mobile phone bill is £21 a month. I have a SIM only contract that's got like unlimited everything, basically. Not that I ever send a text or make a phone. I actually do make phone calls, not that I ever send a text. I'm a WhatsApp or iMessage girl, so I'm basically just paying for unlimited internet. I was like a stickler for unlimited internet in my previous flat because our internet wasn't amazing, whereas in this flat the internet's a lot better, and I don't need unlimited internet, so I definitely could get my mobile phone bill probably down quite dramatically if I were to change that contract, which I can do in a couple of months, maybe next month. And then I've got electricity. We're actually really lucky that in this flat we only pay electricity, we don't pay a gas bill. So our electricity bill comes in at £41 a month. so I've actually overestimated it a little here, but I wanted to kind of keep it at more of an average of what others pay. So I know that people do pay a lot more of that than that for their electricity and gas. So our gas is completely included in our rent, whereas I know that people probably pay around £50 each if you're living with 2 people a month for your gas bill, maybe even more now at the moment, but I don't want to assume that because I'm not 100% sure what we would be paying for gas here if we paid it. I know our electricity I've budgeted about £22 a month because obviously we're on the flexi contract. So if you are on a gas and electricity contract at the moment, it'll probably be flexi, which means that it will change a lot. And in October, the prices will be going up again because they will be changing the energy price cap. So it's going up quite a lot. So that's definitely something to look out for. If you are moving contract or moving house soon, you can't actually change your energy supplier at the moment. So you're stuck with whatever energy supplier the house has at that current time. So in our previous flat, we had So Energy and they were absolutely brilliant. We weren't paying very much at all. And in this flat, I've come on to British Gas. But we're really lucky that when I was researching flats, I was looking for places that had energy bills included because I knew about the hikes in energy prices and I wanted to be able to spend more on a bigger space and not have to worry about that hike in energy price. And a lot of the flat blocks in London do include your energy gas bills and your water bills. So our water bill is also included in this flat, in our flat. So all my household bills are split between me and my partner. But if you're living in, for example, a flat share, this would obviously be a much lower budget that you would need for your bills, because you could live in a house that maybe has 4 or 5 rooms and end up living with a lot more people and therefore splitting all these bills with a lot more people. But if you're choosing to live with a partner, or I previously lived with my best friend, so for the past 3 years of my life, it has just been 2 people, living with 2 people, which so I'm very used to splitting my bills in half, and that's what you're seeing in this budget. This is a split in half bills, so the £800 is obviously my half of the bills that I pay with Pete. We've got a really good broadband contract. We pay £20, I think it's actually £19 a month for a Vodafone internet, and it's really good, works really well. I would recommend it. But in my previous flat, I think we're paying £22 a month. So ballpark around £20 for your internet, your broadband. Ours, we've got a little bit of a discount because I'm a Vodafone customer. So I've got like a family plan now, which gave us a little bit of our discount for our broadband. So I'd really recommend shopping around for those deals where you can. I've talked a lot about the kind of gas side of things, basically, that I'm not 100% sure what others are paying, so that's what I've put in there as a ballpark for what I would expect to pay if I paid it. And then I've got a section in there for monthly travel. This is obviously so dependent on how you get around. Peter, my boyfriend, he buys like a weekly travel card because he is based full-time in the office, whereas I'm based full-time from home, so I don't pay anything for my monthly travel. I've put my kind of fun travel into the second section, which is my monthly kind of budget section of this spreadsheet. But in terms of my fixed monthly travel, I don't pay any fixed monthly travel. It's obviously very different depending on, for example, my old flatmate Emily. She drove to work every day, so she paid something very different from what Pete would pay, and some people cycle in every day. So obviously monthly travel is completely dependent on how you are choosing to get to work. If you're someone that's moving to London, would definitely consider opting for a job with flexible working, so that you're in the office sometimes and at home sometimes, as this really cuts the cost for monthly travel, because traveling in and out of London every day, I think a daily travel card, so if you're even going to make 2 trips, costs probably about £7 to £8 in London. So that racks up really quickly. If you're thinking a monthly travel card, I think would probably maybe be about 100. Should I Google it? Should I Google how much a monthly travel card would be? Monthly travel card, let's say zones 1 to 3. £173 for a monthly travel card for zones 1 to 3. So once you put that in, it really hikes up your sort of monthly budget. Let's Let's get that back down to 0. And then you've got council tax. So we live in Wandsworth, which is the cheapest council tax I think in the country, almost on a par with Westminster. So we pay really, really affordable council tax. We pay about £70 a month for our council tax. Going over again. We pay about £70 a month for our council tax, but that could be very, very different. We looked at some flats in Wimbledon, which I think the borough is Kingston for Wimbledon, and the dramatic difference would be Wandsworth council tax was for a similar flat around £60 to £80, whereas this flat we saw in Wimbledon, because of its proximity to the common, the council tax would have been about £190 a month. So opting to live in Wandsworth is also a good financial decision, and there's loads of great places to live in Wandsworth. For example, Tooting, Balham, Streatham, Streatham will be a different Lambeth council tax, so it would be like Tooting, Balham, the Claphams. We live in Putney, which is there's really, really great areas to live in Wandsworth, so you can make that Wandsworth council tax accessible to you. And then we've got water bill. So like I said, we don't actually pay a water bill here, it's included in the building's fees, so the landlord pays that, but the water bill ends up being around £30 to £35 a month in a kind of flat this size. So taking all of that into consideration, we've budgeted the household bills you would pay a month to be around £950. Like I said, I pay a little less than that because of the electricity and the water being included. But yeah, that is a kind of an average budget, I would say. If you're living in a 2-bedroom flat with 2 people, around £900 a month is probably realistic. Maybe even more so now with the way the prices are being hiked even more. You can end up paying quite a bit more than that, but you've just got to get on it really quickly, look for some good deals. I've also added a section for entertainment, so this is any kind of monthly subscriptions that you've got coming out. So I actually only have Spotify, that's my only monthly, and I have Spotify and Wix. They are my 2 monthly subscriptions, so I spend about £16 on monthly subscriptions. But I know a lot of people have sort of Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and I think this section is a really, really good way to take all those things into consideration. So I actually only spend, and then I put Wix in. I only actually spend like £16 a month on entertainment, and you could put like your subscription to, like, if you've got like Canva or the others like Squarespace, those sorts of things, you could put in this entertainment section, because you pay so many little subscriptions here and there. Sometimes you forget how much they add up to when you're paying like £1.99 here, £1.99 there, £2.99 there. That obviously adds up to quite a bit over a whole month, and it's really good to kind of get those all in one place and keep a good track of them. And then I have medical, that's personal. So I budget about £40 a month to get my nails done. This is to be honest, I could spend about 60 some months, but I want to put into my every month budget that I want to get my nails done. It's something that's really important to me, and it's not part of my like flexible budget. It is something that I get done every month, maybe 2 times a month sometimes. So I do budget around £40 a month in there to get that done, and then also my gym costs £40 a month as well. So they are 2 things that are like non-negotiable, important to me, important to how I feel about myself. And I guess like a flexi part of that would be maybe if I get my eyelashes done that month or get a pedicure, but there are certain things I'm willing to like do myself. But nails and gym, nada. They are stuck fixed expenses for me. I've then also got a section for other. So for me personally, I have an ISA savings account, which is my savings to buy a house. It's in my Help to Buy ISA. I can go more into Help to Buy and buying a house soon, because it's something me and Pete are going to start getting quite like serious about over the next, I'd say, sort of 6 months. Probably I'd say around December we're going to probably start talking to a mortgage advisor, getting the whole process of how much we want to save to buy, and like what stage you want to be at for when we start to look to buy, probably in around a year's time. So if you want videos on that, then do let me know, because it's going to be obviously a really exciting / stressful time, and it is for a lot of other people who are doing the same thing. So if you want me to take you along on that journey, let me know. I also have a credit card that I'm solely sort of paying off, because I don't want to pay it all off in one bulk. So I put in here that my monthly credit card payments as well, just because I've basically balance transferred it all to an interest-free credit card, and I'm just paying it off slowly so I can still put as much money as possible into my savings to buy a house. So yeah, I have my fixed credit card payments and my monthly ISA savings payments into there. Helped by ISA, you can transfer £200 to every month, so I just do the £200 cap every month, just so I can get as much in there as possible. And if you choose to use that money to buy a house, even if it's not through Help to Buy, you can still get the money from the government. I think they give you like 10 or 20% on top of what you've saved, which if you've saved to the cap of £3,000 is a brilliant little boost of extra money, which is great. So with all those monthly fixed expenses taken into consideration, obviously this isn't exactly to a T what I'd spend, this is more kind of an average of what somebody might, that comes to around £1,000 of monthly fixed expenses. And with your £1,900 salary, that leaves you about £900 to play with throughout the month. So my next tab is the monthly budget tab. So this is where you can kind of get really into the nitty-gritty of how much you spend each month and what you're spending it on. So I've split this out into groceries, eating out, socializing, clothes, coffees, general entertainment / holidays, other transport, which is my fun transport, which isn't taking me to work, personal care, which is, for example, if I'm getting a pedicure or eyelashes or getting my hair done or anything like that, and other. So I basically have put a budget that I think is around what I spend. At the end of this month, I'm going to do a roundup and see how close to this budget I kept. And this is true to, this is my personal, what I think I'm going to be able to spend this month living in London. So I budgeted £60 a month on groceries, which totals up to about £14 a week. Me and Pete actually did a food trip yesterday and I did go over this. And I think it's because where I'm not that used to shopping with Pete, my boyfriend. He obviously eats a lot more meat than me and eats a lot more than me in general. So I've been very used to easily capping a weekly budget of £14 for my grocery shop. But where I eat mainly vegetarian, maybe some fish, it's really, really different eating with him, and I want to eat all our meals together, so I might have to up that budget a bit, but we'll see at the end of August how that's gone. Eating out, I've budgeted at 80 quid. That is so I kind of put eating out and socialising together. I've budgeted at 160 quid for the two. Is that right? Yeah, 160 quid for the two, so that's £18, well, £36 a week for that. Eating out and sort of socialising, going out for drinks is something that's really, really important in my life. I spend a lot of time with my friends, and most of the things we do is eat out or maybe go to like a fun event. We try and get kind of as cheap and fun as possible, but this budget is very, very important to me, and I want to kind of keep it like that. I may even put some more into it, we'll see. There's room for me to play with it, but at the moment I think I can keep to that budget. I then also got a £60 budget in there for clothing. So I shop mainly secondhand or sustainable brands, and every now and again I find something I love in the high street and will dribble that in. But I think spending about 60 quid on clothes, if I don't spend that, it can definitely be distributed to other places. I've then got £25 in there. My phone's buzzing off. £25 in there for coffees. Again, this is something that is a non-negotiable for me. I've definitely cut down on this. I am teetering on the edge of maybe swapping that to be a prep membership and just do the £25 prep membership, so I can just get as many coffees as I like. We do have a prep quite close to us, but I definitely easily spend about 6 quid a week on 2 treat coffees. I am getting to the end of my camera. So my camera died when I was talking about coffee, which I went and made in honour of that fact. But let's get back into it, shall we? I now need to remember how to screen record again. Not that there's much really going on the screen recording anyway, but it's worth having. Okay, yeah, so we were talking about, I spend about £6 a month on coffee. Then I've got general entertainment / holidays. So this is if I'm going on holiday that month, or just like the cinema, any general entertainment, or if I don't spend this, it will be my like pocket money, I guess, to put aside for future holidays. I've actually not got another holiday until September now. Not that that's very far away, but it's another wedding. We've got one other wedding this month, so I probably would have put that into general entertainment as well. Is that the right way to describe someone's wedding? I'm not sure. That's £50 in there. I then got £25 in for other transport / Ubers. I don't think this is high enough. I think the £6 weekly is probably not high enough for the amount of stuff I do. So I think I'm gonna up this one a little bit to maybe like £40. I think it just needs to be higher because I definitely spend more than like a tenner, maybe 45, then that probably makes more sense. About £10 a week on getting to and from places. I don't Uber all that often, but definitely just getting in and out of London probably costs about a £5 each time anyway. So if I do that twice a week, then I've got that £10 budget sorted. Most of the time it is just buses. I go back to Tooting to see my friends. A lot of my friends live there, or I walk over to Pete's parents, or get the bus into London, like, or run into London. There's lots of different ways I get around that isn't the train. So £10 I think is a fair budget for transport every month. I've then got 30 in for personal care, so that's for getting my eyelashes done, hair done, that sort of thing, anything on top of the nails basically. And then £20 for other, so that could be sort of something like going, I don't know, I basically like maybe some homeware or something. There's definitely like stuff that gets put into that budget, which leaves me with a budget of £450 to play with a month, which is £104 a week if we're dividing it by, I think I've divided this by 4. Oh no, I divided by 52. Oh, I've times it by 12 and divided by 52, so yeah, it's fine. It's £104 per week that I would like to spend every week basically. And the way I manage this budget is I use my Revolut card. So my pay every month comes into my current account, which is my Santander current account, and then I transfer what I'm gonna do is transfer £104 each week on the Monday into my Revolut card, so I can really kind of manage how much I'm spending from that £104. And then I'm also going to be tracking it. So this section down below allows you to track your actuals. So at the end of August, we'll see how I've done here, and we'll be able to see it split by, so I'll change that to say August, split by category as well. And what I've done is I've uploaded this onto my, what's it called? Numbers. It's the Numbers app on the iPhone, so that I can literally do it on the go as well. And what I'm going to do on the go is I'm going to put in everything I've spent. So if it was a food shop and I spent £13, I'm going to add it into my actuals here, then set the category as groceries, and it will update this section here, and it will let me know how much I've got left to spend for the rest of the month in that category, and whether I've overspent or underspent in each category. So at the end of August, I'll be able to update this and see if I've spent according to my tracker basically, and I will show you guys that as well. So if I keep to this spending, this sheet also works out how much I will have for monthly savings, or how much this person with this £1,900 account would have for monthly savings. So if your total income is 1,900 and you're spending combined 1,499, so £1,500 on your total fixed bills and your monthly spending budget, that leaves you with a potential savings of £401 for that month, which I think is pretty good. That's a really, really good amount to be saving every month. And if you were to continue to choose to save that, you can update here and say, look, I want to override that. I only want to save a certain amount and use that other amount for my spending throughout the month. If you were to keep doing that for the rest of the month, this also works out your savings potential for the whole year. So if every month you save £401, which we know isn't realistic. That's why we've got the kind of actualized side over here. We know that it's not realistic to maybe save the same exact amount every single month, but if you keep your budget really well, then you could be left with £4,812 of savings at the end of the year, which doesn't sound like a massive amount, but that can make all the difference for saving for all the big kind of life things, holidays, weddings, buying a house, like all the kind of stuff that you might want to save for having children. That is a massive amount to be putting into your pocket, and if it's you and your partner both doing that, then you've got almost 10 grand saved at the end of the year, which is brilliant. It's always good to have that kind of backup. And you can actualize your savings as well. So I've got this written as July, but I'll change this to be set as August. And you could say you actually only saved 300. You can pop that in and you can kind of track it as you go and see how much you are going to be saving for the rest of the year. If you kind of do more or less into your savings, basically. So this, I think, is a really great sheet I've created. Again, if you want to download it, it's going to be linked down below, and all I ask is that maybe you donate to my marathon fund to say thank you if you start using the sheet. If you do start using the sheet, you can open this or download this into your I've forgotten what it's called again, Numbers app if you have an iPhone, so you can keep it really updated on the go and don't have to go into Google Docs or Excel to update it every time. And you can update it a lot more regularly, because I think it's a really great sheet, and I'm really excited to sort of dig into using it. The uploaded version will be completely blank, and I'll set it to like download only, so that you guys can access it easily, but it won't have anybody else's data in or anything. And just download yourself a copy and you can use that. And yeah, let's basically see if I manage to stick to my budgets. Obviously I won't show you my wages, but my fixed expenses budget will be and my monthly budget will be realistic in my end of month update. I've also set myself some really core goals for August that will also be featured in that video. So I've got this daily goals setter from May paper, and there's a section in this that you can use to create all your tasks for the month. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. Actually, let's stop screen recording because we don't need that anymore. But basically got all my for the whole month, and I'm gonna kind of put in everything that I want to do. I've got in my notes to track my spending for this month, and I also want to stick to these 5 core goals for the rest of the month. So I want to run 3 times a week. I want to for August, raise around £1,000 for my marathon training fund. I'm on 200. I want to do no shopping, including thrifting, so I don't want to buy anything new in terms of clothes for the whole of August. And I want to upload at least 2 videos to YouTube a week. And this is a reach goal, but if you could hit subscribe and help me out, that'd be amazing. I want to try and hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube as well. So I think we're about 500 away. I'm not actually sure what I'm on, but I'd really like to do that. So that's my 5 monthly goals for August. I'm going to track how I'm doing with those, and we'll talk about that in my end of August roundup, and we'll also talk about the monthly spending and if I've managed to stick to my budget as well. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, please hit that subscribe button. It honestly means the absolute world to me and helps me achieve one of my August goals. And if you are happy to participate or donate anything to my marathon fund, that would be absolutely incredible as well. I really want to hit that £1,000 goal for August, get myself halfway there. And I upload videos definitely every Monday at 6 PM, but I will be uploading more regularly throughout the week as well, talking about like I want to kind of focus really keenly on like budgeting and finance, especially with the state of the economy at the moment. I think it's really important that we keep talking about it and everything we're doing to support ourselves. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Smash a like on the video if you did. Remember to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.